A very good evening to all the participants on this platform of this webinar today. Warm greetings from the Press Information Bureau. I am Shruti Patil, Director, Press Information Bureau, a media unit of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, which looks after the communication of the central government policies and initiatives. And we've all gathered here today for this webinar to commemorate the 7 years of Prime Minister's Dhan Yojana. This was launched by our Honorable Prime Minister 7 years ago as a powerful instrument of financial inclusion. Today, to enlighten us more about the journey traveled and the road ahead, we have many dignitaries with us. I heartily welcome Shri Narayana Boga ji, the Director, State Bank Institute of Rural Banking, Shri Arvind.V, the Chairman of Telangana Grameena Bank, the DGM Praveen Kumar K, Chairman AP Grameena Vikas Bank, Shri Loknath Panda ji, the Director of Zero Mass Corporate BC, and of course DGM SBI Mohan Das ji, who has been instrumental in coordinating this webinar for us. I most humbly welcome you all, and it's my privilege to have you with us today on this platform to speak about this topic. As we have discussed earlier, I would just set about a context to what this webinar is about, and then I would request our speakers to take this platform. As I was telling earlier, the Pradhan Mantri Dhan Yojana has been a national mission for financial inclusion, and this is among the top priorities of the government as it is an enabler for the inclusive growth. As our Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, was sharing with the country the other day on the 28th of August, she said the journey of PMJDY-led interventions, which have been undertaken in the short span of 7 years, has in effect produced both transformational as well as directional change by emerging as the robust, by giving the most robust financially inclusive ecosystem, which has delivered financial services to the last person of the society and the poorest of the poor. So this being the objective of the government, I would invite our speakers of the day to throw more light on this most powerful instrument that the country has seen in the past 7 years. My welcome address was supposed to be followed by our inaugural address by our Director General South of the PIB and the ROB. Unfortunately, he had to rush into another VC called by the Secretary of I&B regarding the celebrations of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and hence he has conveyed his sincere regrets for not being able to make it today, but has conveyed his best wishes to this webinar. I would now request Mohan Das ji to kindly introduce the first speaker of the day and carry on with the proceedings. Please, Mohan Das ji, please. Mohan Das ji, request you to switch on your mic, please.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So, am I audible now, madam? Yeah. So, thank you, Shruti Patil, madam, Director, Press Information Bureau of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. And I as madam said, at the behest of the ministry, we have coordinated this webinar on PMJDY, and from the Telangana state, we have some esteemed speakers, and also 3 esteemed speakers, and then we have another speaker from the a doyen in the business correspondent industry. The first keynote speaker is Shri Narayana Boga. Shri Narayana Boga ji is a career banker in State Bank of India. He comes with great academic qualifications of MSc Agri, CIV, and Diploma in Management. He also has worked in various capacities both in India and abroad. His experience includes branch operations, credit, and other administrative roles. His important assignments include assignments as branch manager, as manager credit, as regional representative in Cairo, as a regional manager at Hyderabad and Kurnool, deputy general manager at Corporate Center, and deputy general manager business and operations at Chennai, and thereafter he on his elevation as general manager, he was handling a critical assignment at Corporate Center under catering to merchant acquiring business. He was also MD and CEO of SBI Payment Services Private Limited, and then he has taken charge as general manager management audit at Inspection and Audit Department. And now since March 2021, he is posted as director, State Bank Institute of Rural Banking. So he comes with a lot of experience, and we Ram Narayana Boga sir, we are most eager to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohandas. Good afternoon, everyone. Madam Shruti Patil, Director, Press Information Bureau. Shri Arvind, Chairman, Telangana Grameena Bank. Shri Praveen Kumar, Chairman, AP Grameena Vikas Bank. Shri Loknath Panda, Director, Zero Mass Corporation, National BC. Press reporters, colleagues from APGVB, Telangana Grameena Bank, SBI, faculty, and other participants. I welcome you all to this webinar. I am very happy to be associated with this webinar organized by Press Information Bureau, Hyderabad, in connection with 7 years of commencement of PM JDY, one of the most successful financial inclusion programs since our independence. The Government of India has been taking up many welfare measures post-independence for upliftment of poor people of the country, with the overarching Gandhian philosophy of Sarvodaya through Antyodaya, meaning welfare of all through upliftment of weakest. The objective is inclusiveness and equity. Various initiatives like expansion of branch network, nationalization of private banks in 1969 and 1980, introduction of priority sector lending norms, lead bank scheme, regional rural banks, NBFCs, microfinance institutions, small finance banks, promotion of self-help groups, joint liability groups, business correspondents have improved the reach of the banking system throughout the country. However, the creation of JAM Trinity ecosystem in the recent years has changed the entire universe of financial inclusion. Jan Dhan, Aadhaar, mobile penetration. While Jan Dhan has enabled millions of Indians to have access to the banking services by opening up accounts with the banks, Aadhaar has been able to solve the major challenge of identification of customers through digital ID. Mobile access and the creation of world-class payment services like IMPS, UPI has provided immediate credit and also fastness in accessing the direct benefit transfer of subsidies and other benefits to the beneficiaries' accounts across the country. Government of India has implemented this Prime Minister's Dhan Yojana on a mission mode and introduced several revolutionary measures like creation of intermediaries between customer and the bank, like business correspondents and customer service providers. Simplifying KYC norms and opening up zero balance accounts, provision of microcredit and trade facility up to 10,000 rupees, rolling out of loans under Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana with no collateral, and rolling of micro insurance, pension, and innovations in digital transactions, setting up a financial inclusion fund, financial literacy activities for customer protection have been the major innovations and activities rolled out by the Government of India. The objective is to provide comprehensive financial services like deposits, credits, insurance, pension, and remittances in a timely and adequate manner at the doorstep of financially excluded people. As on date, about 43 crore PMJDY accounts have been opened, and of which more than 55% are of women customers. Over 6 lakh banking outlets of CSPs have opened across the country. The impact of digital DBT can be understood from the fact that during the financial year 2021, about 5.5 lakh crores of amount has been deposited in these PMJDY accounts. That means to a larger extent, the dependence of intermediaries and brokers or paperwork has been eliminated. This has been a major achievement in this scheme. Coming to the contribution of State Bank of India, you all know State Bank of India is a major commercial bank in India with 22,000 branches and a customer base of 46 crores. We have opened 72,000 customer service points in every nook and corner of the country through 70 national and state BCs. These customer service points are treated as extended arms of bank branches and act as the touch points for financial needs of the customers. Volume of transactions have reached 60 crores per year, and number of transactions have touched 60 crores, and the volume of amount is 2.5 lakh crores during the financial year. State Bank of India has been doing this with an objective of providing withdrawals, deposits, and also providing bill payments of utilities, updation of passbooks, and recovery of our irregular loans given by the bank. We have given a lot of incentives to the customer service points during the pandemic with an objective of increasing the turnover, and we have also provided insurance facility to these CSPs. And coming to our institute, you all know that our institute is an Apex Training Institute. It is a specialized institute in the area of agriculture and rural banking. We provide domain training to the operating functionaries through 52 state level training institutes across the country. We prepare a curriculum, and we also prepare various topics for imparting training and also improving the skill capabilities of our operating functionaries. And for this FI, whatever the corporate objectives and the government initiatives which have been circulated by the Government of India through Finance Ministry and DFA have been regularly been communicated to the operating staff so that the objectives of this FI are achieved across the country in a uniform way. And we also conduct trainings on business development, risk mitigation, and sustainability of BC channels. And we also proactively engage with the government departments, regulators, and also fintech companies for ensuring that the objectives of financial inclusion are disseminated to the operating functionaries. We also provide training to the RCTs, that is the Rural Self-Employment Training Institutes. We have about 152 established by State Bank of India in various states. These RCTs provide employment to the rural youth. The final objective is creation of employment and also overall development of the rural areas. Having said all this, there are certain challenges in this financial ecosystem for increasing the inclusiveness of and effectiveness of the system. Like we should, all the stakeholders, we should ensure that the mis-selling and also cyber security, data privacy of these financial inclusion activities are ensured. And coming to the future journey, there is the journey so far has been very encouraging, and the objective of the government of India has been achieved to the major extent. But still, the road ahead is a lot to be done. Like see, government of India has developed a financial inclusion index, which comprises of 3 dimensions. One is access, usage, and quality. Under this index, our score is so far it is only 54. There is a need to improve the efficiency so that the accessibility is achieved by all the stakeholders to a greater extent. And secondly, it is observed that there are 11 crore people who are still to be covered under this financial inclusion by opening up the accounts. And I'm sure that we going ahead, definitely we will be able to cover these people under this financial inclusion. And finally, the objective is to ensure that 100% penetration is ensured in Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana and Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, and also covering under Atal Pension Yojana. With this, I thank the Press Bureau of India for giving an opportunity to us, and I am sure we will be discussing much more in another hour or so allotted to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insight into how the PMJDY has progressed till now. I now request Mohandas ji to introduce our second speaker for the day.
Yeah. It's my privilege to introduce Shri V. Arvind, General Manager, State Bank of India, and presently deputed as Chairman of Telangana Grameena Bank. He comes with a vast experience of over 37 years in the banking industries. The notable assignments he has held is Foreign Department, Calcutta, and managing entire foreign exchange reserves of State Bank of India. Later on, he has headed RTMU, which is instrumental in catering to entire forex need of the customers at Hyderabad Circle. And as AGM of Coimbatore main branch, he was instrumental in making the branch the largest in business and profit in Chennai Circle. As regional manager in Tamil Nadu, he has controlled districts of Erode and Nilgiri. And thereafter, he was DGM Business and Operations in Coimbatore, in Kozhikode module, where he also saw the demonetization scheme and the smooth merger of the Associate State Bank of Coimbatore with SBI. Since 2017, he has been the chairman of Telangana Grameena Bank, which is one of the largest Grameena banks sponsored by SBI. During his stay, the business at Telangana Grameena Bank has grown multifold. Again, I invite Mr. Arvind to start the discussions with his keynote address.
Good evening, all. At the outset, let me thank the organizers for having called me here to speak about Jan Dhan. Like you all know, in August 2014, the Honorable Prime Minister started this Prime Minister Jan Dhan Yojana. It was a national mission for financial inclusion to ensure access of financial services, namely a basic savings bank account, a remittance, credit, insurance, pension in affordable manner, under the scheme. The basic savings bank account, as we normally call as the BSBD account, can be opened in any bank branch or through the business correspondents, which we call as the bank mitras. This is primarily for those persons who do not have any banking account with any of the banks. The major benefits of PMJDY has already been explained by my previous speaker. Let me just add on to a few which he has missed. This is primarily for the persons who have not been banked till date, for the unbanked person. There is no requirement to maintain any minimum balance, unlike a normal savings bank account. Here, interest is paid on the residual balance lying in all the Jan Dhan accounts. A RuPay card is given to all the PMJDY beneficiaries. Accident insurance up to 1 lakh is given to in cases where a calamity strikes a family or to the account holder. Post 2018, this amount has been increased to 2 lakhs per person. Now, apart from being a thrift or a saving facility, the Jan Dhan also offers an overdraft facility to all the customers. A maximum amount of 10,000 is given to all eligible PMJDY customers. Now, as a collateral benefit to the PMJDY account holders, we also have the other social security measures like the PMJJBY, PMSBY, APY bundled into this program. Like you all know, financial inclusion was only on paper till 2014. After the grand inauguration of this program, in a mission mode, we ensured that all the persons who didn't have bank accounts came into the banking fold. Thereby, they also could avail the services which any bank can give. We can proudly say today that close to 43 crore accounts have been opened. And if you talk about my bank, that is the Telangana Grameena Bank, where we operate in 18 districts of Telangana, we have opened more than 14 lakh accounts for PMJDY beneficiaries. More notable and noteworthy among the 14 lakh customers of PMJDY that we have, more than 18 lakh accounts are for ladies, women. Now, you all would agree that for a nation to develop and for a nation to sustain, empowerment of women is very, very crucial. If you are able to empower our women, I am sure any country will progress. And towards that direction, TGB has been laying a lot of emphasis in opening accounts for the females. Like the previous speaker said, the JAM, the trinity of Jan Dhan Yojana, Aadhaar mobile number, which was initiated by government largely. This was primarily to enable the government to directly transfer funds to the beneficiaries, thereby pilferage or probably the intermediaries' role was largely minimized. Now, if you remember, during the first wave of COVID last year, for all the female PMJDY account holders, the Honorable Prime Minister announced that 500 rupees will be credited to each one of the women beneficiaries. Now, had the PMJDY not been there, just imagine the gargantuan task that we all had to in transferring these funds to all the beneficiaries. The single stroke, we could transfer a few lakh crores to all the beneficiaries. If you look at my bank, we have transferred more than 120 crores to around 8.5 lakh customers for the months of April, May and June. While the amount of 500 may look very small to most of you, but for the poor customer, the 500 was a very big relief during times of COVID because economic activity came to a standstill at that time. Now, all these things were possible just because we had a Jan Dhan account, and the Jan Dhan accounts were linked to Aadhaar and also mobile numbers. So the benefits are a lot many for all the PMJDY beneficiaries. Now, if you look at the seeding of Aadhaar, we have seeded more than 75% of the Jan Dhan accounts, and we have also issued more than 53% RuPay cards to all the PMJDY beneficiaries. Now, to give a brief about RuPay cards, like you all know, a RuPay card is made in India, for India, where the funds do not go outside the country. By using a RuPay card, we don't need to pay commission to any foreign agency. Normally, the big players are the Visa and MasterCard, wherein we have to pay commission for each swipe that we do. RuPay card benefits in also ensuring that our dear foreign exchange reserves do not go outside the country and it remains within the country. So we have to a large extent enabled RuPay cards to all the beneficiaries. While we still have more than 40% to be done, I think going forward we should be able to do that in the coming months and coming years. Now, if you look at the PM-SSBY and the PM-JVY, these are all social security measures which the government has introduced over the last so many years. And we at TGB have ensured that every account holder of PM-JDY is having a PM-SBY, a PM-JJBY or an APY. These benefits really help the beneficiaries in a large way. Just to quote a small example, sometime back when the scheme started, we had one person who had opened an account with a measly sum of 100 rupees. He was an electrician working for the electricity board at the local office. And then while climbing up the pole to set right power outage, he was electrocuted and he died on the spot. Now this poor person had a family of 4 persons to feed. Now, while we do not want to rejoice in a calamity like this, it is also important that the family needs some sustainment for them to go ahead. So all that they had to submit was the account opening form. With the help of the account opening form, we could probably give it to the insurance companies. And within 48 hours, we ensured that the money came to the bereaved family. Now, these are some success stories that we have across Telangana Grameena Bank. I'm sure these are stories which are there across all banks too. Now, had the PM-JDY not been there, probably the insurance would not have been there. So the collateral benefits are one too many to note. As TGB, like I told you, we also have this financial literacy campaigns which we run through all the banks at periodic intervals. The primary object of a financial literacy camp that we do is to make sure that the benefits which the government gives are told, disseminated to the rural people so that they can benefit. Now, this has largely helped the bank because we could ring fence most of our customers. We could get many customers from the banking fold. And what started as a thrift scheme, we could also benefit by also giving them a lot of loans to them for consumption, for small businesses. So PM-JDY has helped us 360 degrees, not only in the habit of creating a thrift for the beneficiaries, but also for the bank in earning some interest income by giving loans. Now, within the bank, what we have done is to facilitate all my bank branches. We have around 425 branches. We have a dashboard where we probably showcase all the accounts where a PM-JDY is not done, PM-SBY is not done, an APY is not done, so that the branches know once a PM-JDY customer walks into the branch, that these schemes are not being enrolled by him. So at a click of a mouse, he is able to explain all these things to all the customers and we can get them into the banking fold. In my opinion, after bank nationalization in 1969 and 1980, this is the single biggest move in terms of financial inclusion. There is no other move which has touched the lives of so many millions of Indians, that to the poor Indians who are at the bottom of the pyramid. If the bottom of the pyramid are able to scale up, I think India would be much more stronger in coming years. And like the previous speaker said, yes, the road ahead is quite bumpy. We still have more than some 12 to 13 crore citizens who are to be enrolled. But I am sure with the benefits that has been accruing to all the persons who have opened accounts with us, those persons also will be onboarded. And I'm sanguine in a couple of years' time, we should be able to have 100% saturation as far as PM-JDY accounts are concerned. So I thank the organizers for having me here today and to speak about PM-JDY. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a very nice insight about how PM-JDY is a powerful tool for women empowerment too, and how it has benefited with so many people, as you gave us some examples. We at the Press Information Bureau would like to collaborate with you further also to highlight such success stories and help more people come into the fold of PM-JDY also. So this has been there'll be a lot of takeaways from this webinar, I hope, sir. Now I request PGM Mohandas ji to introduce our next speaker, Shri Praveen Kumar Kegaru, the chairman for AP Grameena Vikas Bank.
Yes, madam. Yeah, Shri Praveen Kumar, General Manager, State Bank of India, presently on deputation to Andhra Pradesh Grameena Vikas Bank as chairman. It's my great privilege to introduce him. In fact, he was one of the prominent faces of financial inclusion of SBI at Bombay for 3 years between 2016 to 2019. Having seen all the development of PMJDY, PM and the related insurance schemes and pension scheme developed through his hands. As at corporate center, he was controlling the development across the bank. He has held varied assignments in retail segment, information technology, financial inclusion, as I said, and agriculture in SBI over a span of 36 years. And presently, as I said, he has been deputed as General Manager SBI to Andhra Pradesh Grameena Vikas Bank to take the charge as chairman. He has been there since 2019 and he has done a great job there. And we would like to hear his personal experiences in the field of PMJDY and financial inclusion.
So good afternoon, sir. Thank you for the brief introduction and welcome to all of you. Special thanks to the Director Shruti Patil Madam for making us invitee and speaker for this program on the PMJDY. As the earlier speakers are also communicated that the PMJDY has been rolled out by Honorable Prime Minister in the year 2014. To be specifically, the scheme has been rolled out on 28th of August 2014, but with effect from 15th of August. And it was in the phase 1 and phase 2 stages. Then phase 1 was to the period of 2015 August. Later on, the phase 2 was from 2015 to 2018. During this period, the Honorable Prime Minister was focusing more on the affordable financial services to the unbanked or underbanked people. In the initial stages, the government was focusing more on the household level account opening. Then at certain point of time, when the government has felt that the household level account opening has been achieved to the maximum extent, then later on it has been extended to the individual level of all the citizens of the country. So during this period, the government has rolled out in the mission mode objective. Under mission mode objective, it was under the 6 pillars. The first pillar was universal access to the banking to all the people. In this first pillar of 6 pillars, the government has mapped the villages as sub-service areas with a population of around 1,000 to 1,500 and with a distance of 5 kilometer coverage. So brick and mortar branches was very difficult to be reached in these areas. Thereby, the government has brought in the intermediaries like NGOs, MFIs, business facilitators, and business correspondents. Thus, it has created a good avenue for the people for income generation and also for the employment of the rural people, because the bank mitras or the customer service points will be from the rural areas where they will be delivering the services of banking financial services. Then next pillar was the providing the basic banking facility, basic banking account, along with the overdraft facility and a RuPay debit card. Initially, the government has started with a RuPay debit card where an insurance was covered with accidental insurance to the extent of 1 lakh rupees. In addition to this, by default, all the PMJDY account holders were covered under the life insurance of 30,000 rupees for a period of 1 year. That is, for those customers who have been enrolled or opened an account under PMJDY concept was up to 31st of August 2015. Those customers who have been there in the bank by opening an account under PMJDY category, that set of customers are eligible for a insurance coverage of 30,000 life risk coverage. In addition to RuPay debit card, that is an accidental insurance, and basing upon the feedback given by the various stakeholders, the Government of India has liberalized the insurance coverage, because initially it was there for 45 days activity on those accounts, and those customers should be having a debit card account, and they should be operating the accounts for the 45 days from the prior to the incident of the death. But because of the feedback given by the various stakeholders, the government has liberalized that from 45 days to 90 days, with which it has encouraged many of the customers and covered many of the customers in the event of accidental death. The third pillar was the financial literacy program. Because in the rural areas, the customers were not having the literacy on the financial activities, the government has emphasized by creating awareness and also involving all the stakeholders that they should go for the financial literacy awareness program, through which the customers will be having an idea about the banking services, not only banking, related services where they can be coming out of the clutches of the middlemen or the money lenders. The fourth one was creating a credit guarantee fund. This credit guarantee fund was created to support the bankers, because there was a credit facility, overdraft facility to these customers, and these customers were eligible for an overdraft facility provided they operate for a minimum period of 6 months and it is a regularly operated account. Basing upon the turnover of the account, the overdraft facility was given from 2,000 to 5,000 in the initial period. Later on, with the understanding of the scheme, the government has enhanced to 10,000 rupees. And the another pillar was micro insurance. When the insurance index was seen, the coverage of the insurance for the Indians was on a lower side. So how to increase this? The government has thought that because of the Jan Dhan account, we can extend this facility to the rural people at a lower cost, so that this micro insurance concept has been brought into as one of the pillar in the mission mode objective. And under micro insurance, the government has brought types of the insurance. One is normal death and another one is an accidental death. That is the normal death, which has been taken care by the PMJJBY. Initially, it was for a 330 rupees scheme for 1 year, and it starts from 1st June to 31st of May of every year. And it is auto renewal facility was given to the customer, so that every time there is no need for asking for a renewal of that. Then the Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, that was for 12 rupees, and that was covering under the accidental insurance. Basing upon the feedback given by the stakeholders and some of the customers, the government has relaxed the norms in the PMJJBY, that is Jan Dhan Jeevan Jyoti Bima. Instead of yearly contribution, it has been spread for the quarterly contribution. Quarterly contribution in the sense, the customer who has been enrolled in the first quarter, that is from 1st June to say August, June, July, August, 31st. So he has to pay a full premium of 330 rupees. Then the customer who is enrolling or who want to enroll in the second quarter, that is from 1st of September to November end. So certain premium has been reduced. So with this, there was an awareness among the customers that by chance, if I am not enrolled in the first quarter, I can enroll in the second quarter or third quarter, so that my insurance coverage is also there. With this spread in the message spreading in the market, there was an improvement in the insurance coverage for the more number of customers. Then the last one was the unorganized sector pension scheme, like a Swavalamban scheme, and this was in the phase 2, which was proposed in the phase 2. But with the experience in the phase 1, the government has preponed it and launched it in the 2015 itself. And this has been a very successful pension scheme. And under the pension scheme, normally whenever pension schemes are introduced, it will be based upon the NAV at the appropriate time. But this was a government guaranteed pension scheme. And the customer can opt for a certain amount of the pension, which is for 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees, 4,000 and 5,000. And a guaranteed amount is 8% rate of interest has been guaranteed by the government. That is the minimum rate. Beyond that, anything is there that will be given to the kitty of the customer and it will be credited to the fund value of the customer. And the beauty of this scheme of Atal Pension Yojana was the subscriber can continue to the age of superannuation, and once he take the pension, unfortunately is no more after taking 1 month pension, the spouse will be getting the pension till such time he or she is alive. And the another beauty of that is the spouse, if he or she is getting the pension and he or she is no more, the nominee will get a fund value. This is the beauty of this scheme, and no other scheme is having this facility. So with this, these 6 pillars, government has been focusing more and more. And as earlier speakers have also said, that the inroads have been made with 45 crore accounts and 1,45,000 crore deposits in these accounts. So thanks to the vision of the government of India, and still there is a scope for further enhancement of other services in addition to making the facility available to the unbanked and underserved people also. And as far as my bank is concerned, my bank is operating in both the states of Telangana as well as Andhra Pradesh. I am operating in 21 districts of Telangana and 5 districts of Andhra Pradesh, with 775 branches as on 31st of March. And with the inroads in the rural area, my bank has mobilized around 16,68,000 accounts under PMJDY, of which 15,45,000 accounts are operative. And out of 16,68,000, 2/3 are...
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. I would just request Panda, sir, to just hold on the presentation for some time. We'll come to you, sir, in a short while. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, out of 16,69,000, 2/3 of customers are women beneficiaries. And as the earlier speaker said, if we can empower the woman member of any family member, then the economy will grow, and it helps the government also to grow in a faster pace. And it has been proved successfully, and it is our privilege to render the services to the poor people in the rural areas, because we are banking with 66% of the branches in rural areas. Through these 66% of the rural area branches, we have been mobilizing to the extent of 2/3 customer under women category. And in the initial stages, basing upon their turnover in the accounts, the bank has lent overdraft facilities, and these overdraft facilities have been liquidated by creating awareness through the financial literacy campaigns. And basing upon the liquidation of the loans in the initial days, the bank has taken up and sanctioned mudra loans for setting up of the smaller units and micro enterprises also, which has helped the bank to grow in micro enterprises area. And in some locations, the bank has explained more about the benefits of the PMJDY accounts. Thereby, the customer will take the credit facility, grow to some level, purchase some assets. Through this process, the women beneficiaries of my bank, they could take a crop loan up to the extent of 69,000 on an average. Out of the 11 lakh customers who have been in the PMJDY women beneficiaries, around 1,20,000 customers have availed the crop loans also. And around 5,000 customers have availed mudra loans to the extent of 25 to 50,000 rupees. And they have been doing very good job. And as the earlier speaker said, that insurance coverage is also there. We have been covering around 50 to 52% of the eligible customers, because the eligibility criteria is also there. And we have been covering all these customers. 50% of the eligible customers have been covered under the RuPay debit card, and around 40% of the customers who are eligible under PMJDY has been taken care. And we are canvassing for that. And thanks to the initiative taken by the government during the last financial year, during the period of COVID, the benefit of DBT has been created to all the customers, women beneficiaries, through DBT method. During this process, we educated the customers about the insurance facility of health insurance. Because of the pandemic situation, it was need of the hour at that time. So we could educate the customers and cover more number of people under the health insurance also. By involving or having a tie-up with some other agency who are providing the health insurance. During this process, one of the customer who was having a PMJDY, we converted them into a Bank Mitra also, and we explained the benefits of health insurance, and that family has covered under health insurance. And initially, when they have covered under the health insurance, covering the entire family members, the COVID has got affected for them, and they could get the benefit of the health insurance. And they have been the brand ambassador for my bank in the health insurance area in the PMJDY customers in the rural areas. And in respect of the financial literacy campaigns and awareness, thanks to the NABARD, we have taken the help of the NABARD for financial assistance, and we have procured around 15 mobile ATMs, where these ATMs will go into the villages where we are not in a position to create a brick and mortar branches. And the mobile ATMs, we provide the facility of online transactions there, and we educate the customers about the facility of banking services, benefit of prompt repayment, benefit of usage of the debit card, and the precautions what they have to take while handling the transactions on a debit card. Like, the card should not be delivered to the third person, and the PIN mailer should not be passed on to any others. And in this process also, we are educating them to how to use the mobile banking. But still, as the earlier speaker has said, that there are certain issues when operating in the digital mode, because many of the customers are from the rural areas, some of them are illiterates, and they may be easily a prey for the cyber crimes. So we have been educating that what security features you have to take care of, and all these things we are communicating through the financial literacy campaigns. And way forward, because of the pandemic situation, the phase 2, which was more critical than the first phase 1, we have been educating on the customers on the awareness of social distancing, wearing the mask, and sanitizing at frequent intervals, and also providing the facilities to my bank mitras. Thereby, the customers will not come to the branches in a crowded manner, so that they can be safeguarded from the pandemic situation. And as per the WHO and other agencies, there is an expectation of wave 3 also pandemic situation. So now we have been educating our customers through financial literacy campaign, and more particularly in the women people in the rural areas, that you have to take care of your family members, educate your people, so that the pandemic will not get affected and there may not be any damage to the family members, maybe by way of death or maybe by way of ill health or hospitalization. So, and the Government of India directives to provide all these facilities by linking the Aadhaar as well as the technology platform of mobile banking. See, this Dhan, Aadhaar and mobile banking, a JAM Trinity, whereby we have linked around 80 to 85% of the PMJDY customers with Aadhaar number, and mobile number was to the extent of 50 to 55%. With this, we are sure that the benefits will be passed on to the members, and the middlemen will be weeded out. Real benefit will go to the needy people, and the genuine activities will take place. And as Andhra Pradesh Grameena Vikas Bank, we have been more extensive in covering the area, and in the underbanked areas or unserved areas where we could not create a brick and mortar branches, we have engaged around 2,552 bank mitras covering around 1,800 villages, and still we are on the search of more number of bank mitras, so that the doorstep banking services can be provided to the customers. And still we are exploring the possibility of expanding our reach through bank mitras, so we can cover to the extent possible, and we can be a part of the government mission of covering all the eligible account holders who are not having any account with the banks. So thanks for my team who have been supporting the directions of the Government of India. And with the support of my team members, I am proud to say that across all RRBs, APGVB is one of the biggest RRB, providing the better services to all the customers. And again, I'm proud to say that my bank has declared a profit of 4-digit, which was never in the history of any of the RRB for the financial year 2020-21. Because of the support given by my team and the reach through the PMJDY, we could reach to the last mile people, and we could expand the areas of credit also to customers. With this, I hope we will be continuing this, and I am sure that we will be reaching to the expectation of the Government of India in reaching the last mile and covering the uncovered, being a RRB. Thanks for giving this opportunity. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much, sir. It was indeed enriching experience to hear about your efforts in this regard and the 6 pillars which you have explained, and how you have expanded your activities to tap the last unbanked person. Sir, I thank you so much for your enlightening words, sir. I would now request Mohan Dasji to introduce our last speaker for the day. Mohan Dasji, please request you to switch on your mic, please.
Yes. It's my pleasure to introduce Shri Loknath Panda, co-founder and director of Zero Mass Private Limited. He is having a academic background in engineering. He's an electrical engineer, and he has expertise in development and rollout of innovative payment system solutions and in the financial inclusion field. He is heading or is a director of Zero Mass Private Limited, as I said, which is having a national presence. And they are catering to SBI and other banks since 2007. In fact, they have 12,000 plus customer service outlets across the country, which includes difficult terrains also like Himalayas, Thar Desert, Northeast, and and other LWE affected areas. So I request Shri Panda to continue this webinar with his keynote address. Thank you. Not able to hear you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mohandas, sir, Director PIB, Shruti Patil, madam, Mr. Praveen, Kumar, Mr. Arvind, and Mr. Narayana. All of whom I have learned a lot from in the financial inclusion journey, and it has been a wonderful experience. I would like to share a small presentation. Yeah, is it visible to all?
Yes.
Yeah, so this journey actually started, the financial inclusion journey started in 2006 when RBI came out with the guidelines for business correspondent model. And the first pilot was done in Mizoram in November 2006. And that was a successful pilot, followed by a pilot in Uttarakhand in the Himalayan terrain of Pithoragarh. That also went well. And after that, there was a financial inclusion plan that was created by RBI, and banks started implementing it across the country. So the reach started kind of expanding, and then more services got added, like remittances from urban areas to rural areas, and direct benefit transfer, which used to be called electronic benefit transfer back then, started in a few states. But that was as the earlier speaker said, it was a slow journey in the starting. The speed came with PMJDY. When the Honorable Prime Minister announced the scheme, lent his name to the scheme, it became a very prestigious endeavor for the banks and for implementers like us as business correspondents. And PMJDY started along with the Jan Dhan, Aadhaar Trinity and RuPay and Mudra as well. And subsequently, micro insurance of Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan, Pradhan Mantri Jiban Jyoti Bima Yojana, as well as Pradhan Mantri Bima Suraksha Yojana. So these schemes, as well as Atal Pension Yojana for micro pension, these got added. And to enhance the service, a micro ATM was added so that people can use their debit cards as well. So Aadhaar debit card, whatever services people in the city were getting, now start people in the villages and people in the peri-urban area started getting for their bank accounts. And especially during this COVID pandemic period of the last 18 months, when the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana riding on PMJDY was launched, it has been a big help to the public. And as BCs who have been working continuously through the pandemic by following safety precautions, by taking using sanitization and keeping the outlets clean, and it's been a lot of work, but it has been a pleasure during this time to serve people at that scale. And very recently, during the pandemic, again, an e-rupee service has been launched, where a UPI voucher is provided. So the first pilot was done by SBI with e-rupee by providing vaccination vouchers to the customer service points, which are so that is next. I'm showing some photographs here of the outlets. So the first one is to show that financial inclusion in PMJDY reaches the last mile. So this is a photograph from East Siang district in Arunachal Pradesh, and if you see closely, there is one house in between the hills. So that is the spirit of providing service everywhere, the financial inclusion service everywhere. The next one is sitting in the field with the women beneficiaries who are eager to open a micro pension or a micro insurance service through PMJDY. The next one is from the hills of Kullu in Himachal, and the next photograph is from a village in Punjab. So it is kind of reaching far and wide across the country. So as a business correspondent, we are servicing 12,000 outlets for SBI and other banks, and in all states except Lakshadweep, and including all the union territories of Andamans and Pondicherry and all UTs as well. Northeast, all the Himalayan states, the left-wing affected areas in whether it is Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha, or Maharashtra. The deserts in Rajasthan and Gujarat. So all the areas are covered for financial inclusion. So the next one is where we are and where the services are going. So the future focus areas are mainly to expand the network and deepening of the products and services. So my previous panel members have already spoken about the kind of services being provided. So the next level possibly will be achieved by the following. So first one is there is a lot of debt to be recovered in this segment, in the rural segment and peri-urban segment. So because these outlets are there and technology is available, those accounts are some banks are starting to map it. So as those accounts get mapped to the BC and there is technology to support it, the payments and recovery becomes very easy. Then also to start sourcing asset products like small loans and including capturing of data and approval through the system. The next one has started and it is taking shape is integration of bill payments and third-party collection services. And there is still scope to expand the network, even though there is a large network already there on the ground. there is still scope to further expand the network to reach the beneficiaries at their doorstep. And last one is about the financial inclusion index. As we have reached a certain stage of an FI index, those dashboard customer-wise can be shown at the outlet, so that these customers can be educated, and more services can be given to them to improve their individual index, hence collectively improving the FI index in the country and enriching PMJDY, the scheme itself. So this is a short note, and it is indeed a pleasure to be able to speak in this forum and celebrating the 7 years of PMJDY. Wishing many more success for the scheme and everybody involved. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Panda ji, for letting us know the progress in the technological innovations and how that has helped in expanding the inclusion. Very nice insight at that. Thank you so much. Now that we have heard from all our four learned speakers, I would invite the participants to ask any questions. Our friends from the media can identify themselves before asking any questions. The floor is open, but kindly introduce yourself before you put across your question.
Hello, ma'am, this is Suprashanti from Doordarshan.
Yes, Suprashanti, you can go ahead. We can see half of your face. Put your computer a little down.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
I just want to know how this scheme is faring well in Telangana. Particularly, which district is leading in Telangana? Among all the 33 districts in Telangana, which district is in the first place in the implementation, in the number of accounts held by the people?
Arvind sir, would you like to answer that?
Yeah. While there is no ranking system as such in Telangana as of now, as to who's doing well and who's not doing well, but with some amount of certainty, I can say all the districts have been doing very well. The saturation is more than 70% of all the Telangana districts. The backward districts of Asifabad, Komrambeem, Adilabad, Mancherial, coverage is slightly more because we have more number of rural people in those areas. So larger the rural people, better is the coverage. If you look at the Hyderabad and Rangareddy districts or the urban agglomeration of Hyderabad, the coverage is slightly low because people do not fall into this category. Maybe going forward, we should map and request SLBC to give us a data as to which district is doing well. Yes, you have raised a question. Next time around, we'll come back to you with an index.
Thank you, sir. Any others?
Madam, as this is Praveen Kumar, Chairman, Andhra Pradesh Grameena Vikas Bank.
Sir.
As the speaker Arvind has rightly said that penetration in the rural areas is more, and in every district it is almost covering around 70 to 75%, because most of the rural areas we are operating in the rural areas. 21 districts of Telangana are covered by Andhra Pradesh Grameena Vikas Bank. So we are focusing more in the rural areas, and it is around 70 to 75% coverage is there. Every district is almost equal.
Thank you, Praveen sir. Any other participant has to ask a question? Please adgani.
Hello, madam. Madam.
Yes, please.
This is Nandakishore, Chief Manager FI, AO Secretariat, Madam, State Bank of India.
Yes,
Madam, it is not any question, but I want to do some data regarding the benefits of the PM-JGY and PM-SBY, madam. Because of the JDY account openings at our bank, in our AO, we could cover 74,331 accounts under PM-JGY till 31st May this year, and this June onwards we could cover 691 accounts. In PMSBY, 1,95,878 accounts up to 31st May and up to 31st August this year. From 1st June, 24,261 accounts we could cover, madam. That is a good coverage even in the urban areas, madam, and slightly some semi-urban also we are having branches. So coverage is there, madam. And then we have claims also because of the PMJGY. We have settled 183 accounts from 1/3/2020 to now. We have settled 183 accounts where death has happened to the PMJGY enrolled account holder. So there is a benefit we could give, madam, because the JRDY accounts we could cover, and then that we are also going forward with the coverages, and we are enrolling most of the people Dhan accounts and small and tiny accounts, madam. So this is the information. It's a very useful Dhan scheme, and then followed by the social security schemes rolled out to the poor and marginal account holders, madam. So this is thanks for the opportunity, madam, and then also thank our respected GM sir, Ramnaran sir, V. Arvind sir, Chairman TGB, Praveen Kumar sir, AP Grameena Bank, and then our Mondalji sir also, DGM FI, who was given a chance. I'm also having our team, madam, in our AO, who are in the this presentation, madam. They also could benefit because of the our presentation and the information given by earlier speakers, madam. Thank you very much, madam.
Thanks for your. If there are any other observations or participation questions to be asked by the participants, we would just wait for a couple of minutes and then we can wind up. So I think the features, the journey traveled so far and the road ahead have been so beautifully explained by our speakers for today that all the participants are clear about the various features of the scheme, and we look forward as from the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting to keep this dialogue alive, to carry it forward in the coming days, so that we carry, as you are saying that you have so many success stories and your bank mitras carry your success stories to the field. We would also like to partner with you as a communication partner of the Ministry of Finance to take forward these examples, and through various media, like we are very active on social media and the print media and the electronic media. So we would like to take these stories forward and help and be a partner in helping to reach across to more people. Thanks so much indeed for participating in this webinar. A small formal vote of thanks by my colleague here, my information assistant Shri Reddy. Thanks so much for participating indeed. Formal vote of thanks before we close.
Good evening, everyone. I am Shri Reddy, IA from PAB Hyderabad. I would like to express my gratitude to each and everyone, media representatives, for their presence and contribution to make this webinar a great success. I extend my gratitude on behalf of PAB Hyderabad to our honorable speakers to take out time from their busy schedule to attend the webinar and educating us on financial literacy. Thank you for the informative session, sir. There are a lot of takeaways from this webinar. A special thanks to our director, ma'am, and Mohandas sir for making this webinar a huge success, and we hope to continue our association to reach out to more people, especially in rural areas, to inform about the government initiative. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
With your permission, sirs, it was indeed a very lively interaction. Thanks so much for participating, and we would be putting these content out as on our social media handle as special tweets, and we would be tagging the Finance Ministry also. I'll be sharing the traction we get with all of you, with each one of you, and I'll be sharing the coverages that we get out of this event today, tomorrow, with all of you. And my sincere thanks to each one of you for being on this platform today. Namaste, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Boga sir, Arvind sir, Praveen sir and Loknath Panda sir.
Thank you, Mohandas.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.